Good evening, everyone. It's Javier, and I'm doing episode 4 today, July 27th, 2020, and I am titling it Dealing with Loss or Dealing with a Loss of a Family Member, Friend, etc. Um, I basically wanted to touch on the subject because of everything that's going on this year. Um, Especially with the virus. It is taking people left and right, even though we can't. Many people can't. They think it's a hoax. They think it's just what they're thinking it is or whatever. But it is real. It is real. I know people personally that have had it. I'm sorry. And it's serious. It's serious, and it should be taken serious because it could wipe out many more. And I honestly, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. But aside from that, I wanted to touch on the the way that I cope with loss. I've lost my brother, who was the oldest. I've lost my mom. I've lost my oldest nephew, and I've lost my grandma, and I've lost other family members as well. But as far as the ones that really hit me were the four that I just named. Um, I don't know if you guys have listened to my first episode, but I did uh, put up this channel basically to put music up in the beginning. But then I ended up dealing with losses, so I ended up making a dedication video to at least 3 or 4 of my family members. So that's how I started with this channel. I want to say 12 years ago now. So that's how I started with the YouTube. But anyway, I was 11 years old when I lost my oldest brother. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was asleep in my bed, and it was around 2ish in the morning. And then my dad and my uncle, they walked in my room, and they woke me up. And my dad tells me, I got something to tell you. I said, what happened? He said, your brother crashed in a car accident, and he didn't make it. And I said, what do you mean he didn't make it? He said, well, that means that he's gone. You're not going to see him again. I didn't know how to feel. Um, I remember running to my sister's room, and telling them just like that he's gone. And they both told me to shut up, don't talk like that. Or, I don't remember word for word, but basically they told me to shut up, don't be talking like that. And sure enough, that same morning, I think a cop showed up to the door, and I guess because like they know the addresses. I don't know if my brother had an ID. He was only 15, but I remember the cop told my family, that he's gone. So I mean, it hit us hard, all of us. My brother didn't live with us; he did his own thing, but it still hit us because we still had, he was still our brother. And I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think what helped me, I don't know if I can speak for my sisters, but I know what it did for me was it hurt me, of course, but I think not living with him, like him not living with us, it might have just helped us cope with it a little bit more. I don't know if that sounds rude or harsh, or I think when you live with someone and they're gone, it's like the you miss their presence basically. And I'm not saying that he never lived with us. It's just that for a while he was doing his own thing, so we didn't really see him as much as a brother and sister would as little kids. Um, I remember he used to visit here and there, and him and my dad would always talk about why is he living out there, why is he doing the things that he does, and he just he just chose to live that kind of life. But as far as dealing with the loss of him, I remember going to the funeral, and there was a lot of people, man. There was a lot of people, a lot of thugs. I don't know if it included. It kind of reminded me of the movie Colors. I don't know if anybody has seen the movie. Like you'd have a funeral and you have nothing but thugs and stuff, and I mean not nothing but a lot of them. And I mean they didn't have no drive-by. Thank God, there was nothing crazy like that. But I remember he was loved by the street family, if you would call it like that. But anyway, I think I mean honestly that was in '94. I was 11, so I was a little kid. But here and there, I have dreams of him. We're basically in the house where I grew up at, and um, I don't know. I really think dreams mean something. It's like it's up to you to figure them out. But I do have dreams of him here and there. Um, but yeah, the way I cope with it, I remember the day that he passed away. I went to school the same morning, and I just started crying because it just hit me hard. I didn't know. When you're a little kid, like you you wouldn't know how to cope with it. You only know how to play games, or you do something that makes you happy, and everything else just kind of heals within time, I guess, with the things that you do. And they say time is money. I say time is everything, man. Time is a way to heal, depending on what you do with your time. Um, Everybody does cope differently. Um, I'm not gonna say no names, but I know somebody personally that lost their kids in a house fire, and that's just something that we never wanna deal with. Burying your babies. I don't have no kids, but um, I do, I do understand the feeling of, how it feels to lose someone. It's not fun, not fun at all. But I want to skip to my next family member, which was my mom. Um, I um, I was 29. I was already a grown man, and I think she was the one that it hit me the hardest, losing her, because she was like a big piece of my heart. I was a mama's boy. I'm not gonna lie. I was a big time mama's boy, but you know, uh, to begin with, she did everything, man. She cooked, cleaned. She would stay up around 3 or 4 in the morning, just playing music loud. Like she didn't care. She used to do a lot for what I didn't know. I'm not gonna lie. I only knew how to cook like ramen noodle soups and just simple things like that. But yeah, she did a lot. She did a lot. I was already a grown man. I don't think age matters when when you lose someone that you really love, especially when it's somebody that close to you. Um, she was 53. when she passed away, and I think that's way too young. Um, when it comes to cancer, anything that involves the word cancer, I hate. Even without the money in the world, you can't bring them back or buy them back or anything like that. But um, as far as I remember the day that the night, she she would be coughing, and I mean it just happened out of nowhere. She would be coughing around 2, 3 in the morning. I'd be awake because I'm a night person. Uh, I would be awake and I could hear her, and I live with her, so it's like you could hear, and you can talk to her, you can everything. She was coughing, and then ended up coughing into blood. And when she ate, she couldn't keep nothing down. So it was like a kind of like a stomach bug, like a stomach virus. Um, I got up and I went to go check on her and see. She said she wasn't feeling good, but she didn't. Nobody, none. I just took it like a stomach bug, and I wish that it would go away, But the next day, I took her to my grandma's house, and she was pale yellow. I mean, yellow, yellow. I remember my aunt saw her because she went to go visit my grandma too, and my mom happened to be there, and she told me, "Hey, Javi, she's not looking good. You should take her to the hospital." And I did. And when I took her, long story short, they checked her and they basically told me and my sister that she had, I don't know, I don't remember if it was, I think they told her 3 months or less to live. And I didn't want to believe that. Um, I was in the hospital and I remember my sister told me, we just looked at each other like, wow, like that don't make no sense. How's somebody you know, just gonna just believe us, um, according to what they're telling us? A lot of times I tell myself the doctors are not ever gonna be always 100% right. Just like the meteorologists aren't. Like nobody can predict Father Time, Mother Nature, or anything like that. It just comes when it's time. Um, but I remember getting mad. My mom she couldn't really breathe, and I remember we would take her back and forth to the hospital, so she was in and out. And I remember one day, one of the nurses, she said, "Why do y'all keep bringing her? Like this is like literally in the room with my mom." Mind you, that my mom also understood English because we talked English in front of her all the time. So I remember the nurse said, "I don't know why you keep bringing your mom over here. She's gonna pass away. There's nothing that we can do about it. Just let her go in peace." And I looked at my mom's face. She started crying. But I was so, um, I was very mad. I even cussed out the nurses, the doctors, say I don't know what the hell y'all talking about and this and that. My sister told me to calm down, but basically, long story short, she spent her birthday in the hospital. She loved many things. We brought her balloons and this and that. It just felt hard closing the door behind me, leaving her alone at the hospital the day we left. The first thing that I thought about when she passed away was um, all the times that I could have done more for her. That's the first thing that I always thought about when you lose a family member. That was my way of like hoping that I could have done more. Um, but when she passed away, it really I felt the burden, and it was immense. It was immense. It was big because you think as a little kid growing up that you're always gonna have your parents. I have friends that don't have, both of their parents. I know friends that don't have one, but they make it. They make it. That's a good thing. Um, I still have my dad, but I wasn't as close to him like I was with my mom. But I still love him. But as far as for my mom, like I remember one time, I was feeling alone, and I was driving home. I don't know if it was from a party or something, but I was alone and I was crying and I was listening to music that makes you music that makes you just let it out. Um, and I was crying driving home, and I honestly thought to myself on the freeway, what would I do if I just turned the wheel right here, going at 60, 70 miles an hour. That basically that thought was in my head at that time, and I was like, I could just end it right here and that's it. I could have her again. That's how easily I made it out. I made it out to think that way, but it wasn't something that I wanted, that I needed to do. It was just something that I wanted to, and I didn't do it. Obviously, I didn't do it. But what what got me thinking was when I got home, I thought about what she would want if she was still alive for me. Basically, like, why are you why are you gonna do something stupid when you can be enjoying yourself right now? You got your whole life ahead of you, and you know, um, you can enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. You don't. I know people that have done the opposite. Done what I was thinking about. Like I know them. I knew them personally, so it's like it's kind of hard to think that people actually have the guts to end themselves for something. For someone. I mean, there's a lot of that as well. Um, but I didn't do it because the way that I coped with my mom losing her was I stopped drinking. Um, I stopped hanging with my close friends, and I started going to church. I remember that clearly because I wanted to find a new way to get to be able to cope with that. And I remember it was at least 6 months. It took me at least 6 months to realize that there's nothing that we can do. I remember telling my older sister, when there's a patient loved one in the hospital, somebody's gonna have the authority to tell the nursing, no, the hospital basically, if they wanted to resuscitate the patient when he or she is leaving us, or not. And my sister said no, and she was right to pick that because my mom was terminal. So that was, even if we bring her back, what is the point when she's suffering? And at the time, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't understand why she said no. But now it's like, what is the point if $3 trillion or whatever all the money in the world is not gonna save her. So, and that's the thing that sucks. But honestly, I understand it now, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't understand why she had to go at 53, but I understand what comforts me. In other words, is that at least I know that the best person that can take care of your lost loved one is a man upstairs, because we down here, we can't do anything about everything that happens in the world. Like, for example, the virus. We can't, I mean, you never know, man. It's like you can come and go, basically, meaning like one person comes in your life and then they go. I know somebody who I've known for 4 or 5 years that recently passed away. Um, I'm not gonna say no names, but rest in peace to her. Just you just never know. Just never know. So basically, yeah, money can't buy your mom, your dad, your brother, etc. So, just with that, keep that in mind. Of course, we all know that it's common sense. I think we should appreciate all the family members that you have around you at all times. Keep them close. Don't don't argue over little things and destroy your relationship between you and that person. Um, it's just common sense, but we're only human and we're not superhuman. We cannot, like I said before, everybody copes differently. I know people that do more drugs. I know people that do more drinking. That's the way that it helps them dealing with that kind of situation. And I'm not only talking about losing a loved one or family member or girlfriend or just everything in general. Losing a friend, losing a coworker by changing jobs or anything like that. I also know someone that has been dealing with that, but I'm not gonna say no names like I've said before. But I'm just telling you my personal experience, and I think God has a plan for everyone. As so a lot of people know that, there's a plan for everything and everyone, and that's just the way it goes. Well, anyway, after my mom passed away, um, I've had dreams about her recently as well. I've thought about her. Um, I know that I wouldn't want her around today during this virus because it would devastate me, again. So prayers, by the way, go out to all the people that have members that have passed away this year, any years prior to 2020, of course. I know I'm not the only one who've dealt with pain like that. Um, there's many more who even have been through worse than me. I'm not gonna say I'm the worst, but I just wanted to share my opinion of how I dealt with it, how I'm dealing with it actually still, because it's something that will never go away, even though they say time will heal you. In my opinion, I think, yeah, it will a little bit, but I'm not gonna say 100% because, in my opinion, I think it'll never be the same. It'll never be the same. And the next person I wanted to touch on was my nephew. Um, right after my mom passed away, um, my nephew was 18. He was the oldest. Uh, he he moved in with me right after she passed away. He asked me permission. I said, yeah, I don't mind as long as as long as you don't invite people that are gonna be stealing from me, stealing valuables, anything like that. But what I did was told him, yeah, I think he lived with me for 3 years. And what happened was he worked 3 years. We went 50-50 on everything, groceries, everything. We were good. We were good. When I was a little kid, I would take him to the park, play basketball, everything like that. Um, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. I want to say the day. Well, basically, I'm in the medical field. For you, those of you that know me and have seen my episode 1, I said that I got my last job at the hospital, and I'm still there now. And the date was August 14th, the morning that he passed away. Well, that same morning, the job, Memorial Herman called me and asked me if I wanted the job. I said yes, of course, and I got it. The first person I texted was my nephew because he lived with me. It was just me and him. And I told him, I sent him a text. I said, hey, Joe, I got the job. Because he was asking me for weeks, did you get it? Did you get it yet? Did you get it yet? I never got to tell him till that day. But, he wasn't here no more. And so I got up, I got ready, I showered, and I went to go celebrate by eating some tacos at Taco Laredo here in Houston. Um, I was happy, but mind you, I didn't know that he was gone. I didn't know that he had passed away that same morning. Um, I went to go celebrate tacos, um, and then the way I knew was his ID had his mom's address on there or something. So I wasn't the first one to know. Even though I lived with him, I wasn't the first one to know. That's why I'm over here celebrating, all happy, like, hey, I got the job, this and that. And what happened was that his uncle reached out to me on Messenger, and he told me to give him a call. I didn't know his number, but he gave me his number. I called him, and he told me, hey, I got something to tell you, man. I go, what happened? But at the same time, he's crying, so I'm like, what's going on? And he goes, he's gone. Why? He said his name, but he said he's gone. I said, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean he's gone? Like, yeah, man, he crashed last night or this morning rather, and he didn't make it. And I said, man, I don't remember word for word what I said, but I said something like, man, don't tell me that, man. That's not right. That's not real. And we hung up, and then I called him, and then right away it went to no, like when it's disconnected, and I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it until I seen the article on Facebook, and it hit me, man. Me and him were very close, very close. He was like a little brother I never had. Uh, you know, I would take him to the park when he was a little kid. I did a lot. We all did a lot. But yeah, I couldn't believe it until I seen his truck, and I still have the picture. I don't know. I miss that boy a lot. I miss that boy a lot. One thing that him and my mom would always tell me was, "What would you do without me, Javi?" And I didn't want to think about that. I didn't want to think about that, but now it's crazy how both of them are gone, and I still think about them words, that question. Um, it sucks. It does suck. Um, he was only 21. I remember the week. week and a half before, we had a birthday party for him because he called me and he said, "Do I work that day?" I said no, and we had a good time. I got to meet his best friend and his friends, But he ended up crashing. They say head on into an 18 wheeler, but I think if that was the case, in my opinion, I'll never know, but I think, in my opinion, I think that he was tired, and I think somebody just clipped him, and then which made him lose control. I think he probably fell asleep on the wheel, and not asleep, maybe just dozed off, and it just takes that split second, in my opinion, and I think it when he woke up, he lost control and he ended up facing the wrong way of the freeway, and that's what happened. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Only God knows. But his loss took me for a ride too. I was extremely sad, and he was 21. He was too young. He was young, too young. One thing I'll never understand is why exactly at that time. But the truth is, in my opinion, I don't think us as humans will ever understand why that fast. But we all gotta realize that we're not in control. Only the man upstairs is, and he's the only one that can um, heal you in different ways. Um, it's just up to you to let him in your life, and that's one thing I'm still learning on how to do. It's you deal with it your own way, and that's how everybody is. You you either do this more or you either do that. The way that I'm coping with it, or way that I cope with it, is having close family members and friends around you, and that's how I cope with things. I enjoy having company around, because being alone is only gonna bring you more loneliness and more sadness. So that's just my take on coping with this kind of thing. Um, the last person I wanted to touch on was my grandma. She was um, she was my mom's mom. Um, she taught us a lot. She taught us a lot. She was our Christmas. She was our basically our everything, as far as the love and this and that. But hers didn't really hit me that much, because that lady did. I mean, she did so much for us, but I didn't live with her, so it kind of helped me cope differently about her. I don't know. She was in her early to mid 80s, and I think it's weird because um, 2 days right before she passed away, I remember having a dream that we were at the house where I'm gonna move to, and we were sitting outside in chairs, and my grandma was on my left, my nephew was on my right, and my mom my mom was on my right, my nephew was in front of me, and my grandma was on my left. So we're basically sitting in a circle on chairs outside. And it was a short dream, but it was about my grandma crying with a rag wiping her tears, and and then my nephew asked me, "Hey, hubby, have they buried me already?" I go, "Yeah, man, they already buried you." And then he just smacked his lips. He was mad, and my grandma was crying, And I told her, "Don't worry, Grandma, we're gonna see them again one day." And that's it. I just woke up, and I asked these people. I asked different people, what do they think about that dream? And I don't know who, but they told me it was before your grandma passed away. I said, yeah. They said, in my opinion, I would think that they come to tell you that, mind you, I'm talking about the three people, at least three people, three out of the four that I'm talking about in the subject in the episode. They said, I think they come to tell you that they come down to take your grandma up with them, bring her home. I didn't even think about it until you know till after the fact, but it's true. I look at it that way. I think, yeah, many dreams might not make sense, but I think many dreams, in my opinion, do actually try to tell you something. I think it's just up to you to find out what it was, what it meant. But that's just my opinion. I'm not an expert on none of that, but um, yeah, I had that dream, and then 2 days after that, my grandma passed away. Um, I don't. I've had dreams about her here and there, but I don't have them. You don't have them consistently, and that's one thing I wish I could have had with all four of them, like consistently, just to check up on them. I mean, I know it might sound stupid or funny or whatever, but I wish you could FaceTime them. I wish you could, here and there talk to them whenever you could, but it doesn't work that way. I just know that they are in peace, and nobody could nobody could take care of them better than the man upstairs, and that's the way I find comfort and losing them, and not having them around. But I'm just gonna give my opinion real quick as far as all of this hurt, all of this pain. Again, prayers out to all of the people that are experiencing uh, the the loss of family members, friends, co-workers, etc. Everything. The way that I wanna give my opinion on as far as what could help you, I think the main thing is that you wanna understand that if any of your family members knew that you were thinking about killing yourself because of them being gone or anything like that, remember that if they were here, they wouldn't want any of that. It's common sense, They don't want you to just end it just because their time was done. Um, you still have a purpose in life. The purpose is to show, tell your story. Um, I think what you should do is really do the things that make you happy here on earth. Music is a big thing. Without music, I don't know what we as humans would do. Um, People love movies. Movies really take you away. Just do something in general that makes you happy. Keep your mind busy. Be productive. Uh, Follow your dreams. There's many things that you can do aside from being sad over anyone or the loss of someone. Um, I I recently, just like I said, like I did lose a friend, but I even cried in the funeral, and I didn't think I was, honestly. I didn't think I was. It was a nice service. I enjoyed it, but the pastor there, I don't remember her name, but she did say in life she compared it to the movie Titanic. Um, uh, I read up on the Wikipedia as well. Many years ago, I was very interested, but she said that there wasn't enough lifeboats on the Titanic in order to save everyone. I mean, and it was at least 1,500 people that passed away due to the fact that they didn't have enough lifeboats, and the boats that they did have, they didn't even fill them up to the maximum capacity. They just, some had 20 when you could fit like 65, I think it was. So it was sad, but uh, it really, I really liked the fact that she said, in life you have to make sure that you have a lifeboat, because one day you're gonna hit an iceberg and you're gonna go down, and you don't want to go down. You want to stay. You want to still have life and stay on your lifeboat and keep going. And that was powerful. That was real good. I like that. So I want to just share that credit to her. I don't remember her name, but I thought that was good. That was real good. Um, remember, the man upstairs is watching, and every day is a test. So make sure you have your lifeboat, and again, do things positive, do things that keep you happy. Never let go of your dreams. You still have family. If you don't have no family, find your friends, real friends that are gonna lift you up, not bring you down, and just remember, man, the man upstairs is watching, and only he has your back the way that like anyone that would really have your back would. Um, but that's it. That's the only thing I wanted to talk about today. I really hope that everyone takes care, wear a mask. I know we can't breathe in them when we're walking or whatever, but we need to lift each other up. We need to, let's keep going. This virus don't mean nothing. It's not gonna bring me down from sharing information that I normally would be too shy of sharing. But again, God bless you all, and thank you for listening. And we'll catch up again on the next episode. Thank you.